Okay, Alex Rich, Genius Picasso is about to
Yes.
premiere in just a few days on NatGeo. First of all, tell us how you got the role as the young Picasso.
So I auditioned in my Valley Village one-bedroom apartment with my iPad and did a self-tape that my manager was sitting next to me sent to me. So I did a tape in my apartment, and then I sent it to him, and he sent it to London, and then here we are.
How long? How many auditions? How much process was there involved in doing it?
So I did the self-tape, and then we got a call a couple weeks later that I had a Skype call with Ken Biller, our showrunner, and I went in and I read for Fox, and then I went in and I met with Imagine and NatGeo, and that was it. It was pretty quick and pretty straightforward and not that painful.
Now, last year when I talked to Jeffrey Rush and Johnny, they talked about how they would get together on Google Hangouts and Skype to make sure they were on the same page. So
Right.
you share this role with Antonio Banderas. What did the two of you do together to prepare?
So having Antonio on set, we were together and we were traveling around Europe together, so we were able to spend a lot of time talking and discussing and crafting a character. And also, if he was shooting, usually so was I, but if I ever had a day off, I could go and visit him on set and he could do the same, and we could see how we were portraying each other in real time, which is a little different from last season because Johnny, was in a bunch of the first episodes, and then Jeffrey stepped in a little bit later. We were shooting together, so we could build real time, which was really nice.
And what did you learn from him, not just about Picasso, but
Life.
Life, yeah.
Well, it was so nice to see such an established actor be so open and generous and kind and collaborative, and then to see him in Malaga with his friends and how normal everybody was, just sitting around at a table for Semana Santa, just eating and hanging out and having that type of grounded life given so much success was really nice.
He's like a hero there.
He is. He and Picasso are the two, big people that come out of the city. So I think it was pretty monumental for him to take on this part.
We've all seen so much about Picasso over the years, and certainly seen his paintings and so forth. What did you learn about him that you didn't already know?
So much about, I knew his art at a very surface level, but there was so much about his life that I just did not know about, his youth and the little human elements that you could pick up from reading about him through Fernand's eyes, or John Richardson wrote these incredible books that track his life, and hearing about his friendships and his loves and how much he liked animals and how he pursued the women and how in love he was when he started, and his friendships. It was really cool to find the human behind the artist.
And working for Team Ron Howard and Brian Grazer, I mean, they're as good as it gets in the industry.
I know. It's crazy. It's crazy. I've been able to interact with Ron a little bit over the last week, and just to have their vision behind the project is insane. And it's so beautiful and so critically important to have their insight. It has been just a series of pinch me moments to be able to be in such an incredible project.
Picasso's such a over-the-top character, very emotional, very in the moment. What, as an actor though, I think you have to rein it in just a little bit. You don't want it to be cartoonish either. How do you manage that?
Well, behind all of his, extraordinary actions was a real guy. His relationships were very tumultuous, but they were real. He fell in love with love often. He loved the women that he interacted with, and then, as we all do, the relationships would go south, and he would act in kind of erratic ways. This guy's cracking me up.
Yeah, I'll mention this in the article.
Yeah.
People don't think we've gone nuts.
Right? Yeah. I can see him in the glass on the other side. Everything that he did, I think, was out of emotion, and he had to constantly be fueled to create such incredible art by his life. It was really like a diary of his experiences. So it's cool to play with both, to have those wild experiences.
Because you're both playing him, how do you feel like he changed from when you're playing him as a person to more middle-aged and an older guy? How did he change?
Yeah, well, I got to spend from 17 to 40 in the character, and then Antonio takes over at 44 and takes him through the rest of his life. And in my timeline, he goes from being under his family's wing to on his own in Paris as a bohemian artist with no money and trying to make his name. And then he starts to get recognition and money and fame, and that, of course, changes a person. He moves out of Bateau Lavoir into the fancier part of Paris, and he has opulence, and he settles down with Olga Koklova, who was his first wife, and she's this Russian ballerina who has such class, and he kind of buttons himself up and becomes bourgeois, and it is nice to see that transition.
You were also in this past year in one of the biggest breakout shows of the year. You had a few episodes on Glow.
I did.
What was that experience like? And did you all feel like, since it was a first year show, that it was going to take off like it did?
I mean, I don't think anybody can expect that, and to be part of something so great. That is a very female-driven project, and it's an all-female. I mean, a majority female cast, and the team behind it's really like these incredible women who created this space for these voices to come through, and to have it so well received. And that was my first, recurring role on anything. And then to be able to jump from that into something so different and so iconic as Genius Picasso and to play Picasso, it's been a wild year.
Is there a way you'll be on this second season?
Oh, I have no idea. Of Glow.
Uh-huh.
I'm not gonna spoil anything for them.
You're learning quick.
Yeah. No spoilers. That show, they really made me feel like family, and I got to see them. They came right after us at the Deadline Contenders event this past Sunday, so we got to overlap, and it's so nice to see them again.
One last question on Picasso, learning the dialect, learning the language and so forth. Was that difficult? What was your process?
Well, I was so lucky to have Antonio there, because I could, feed off. He is from Malaga, so his accent is Picasso's accent. But we also had these amazing dialect coaches on set who could help pick out sounds that I wouldn't have been able to hear in my own voice, and start to really pick it apart and create, hopefully, something that feels natural and realistic and true to who he was.
And now that people are going to see it, and then the public's about to actually get to see these episodes, what's that feeling like?
We're so swept up in it. I haven't even really been able to process what's happening, but I'm excited for people to see it. We put a lot of heart and soul, and everybody was so passionate that I hope it's well received. We had, with Ken, our showrunner, and Matthias, our DP, and Davina, our head of makeup, and Sonu, who made this jacket for me. Everybody cares so much, not to mention the cast, that I think that'll be brought forward on camera. I hope.
Good luck with it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very